or on television. And I least to forget the WhatsApp University that we have so many messages and we have so much inputs on COVID that at times we wonder what all information that we have is right or wrong. Sometimes it worries us, sometimes it relaxes us, but we really don't know what all information that we are being fed, whether it's right or wrong. So I'm trying to simplify some information for everyone. And at the end of the session, if you have any doubts, any questions, it would be my pleasure to answer you. Just a second. Just a moment. My screen is not moving. I'm going to just start it again. All right. Okay. So I think these are the new buzzwords or the new vocabulary that we have today. The pandemic. I'm sure many people did not even know what a pandemic was before the corona came in. Lockdowns, school closures, physical distancing, contact distancing, deaths, quarantine, separation from a loved one, anxiety regarding reopening of school, which will happen in the near future, online pressure, screen time, budgets, and limits in expenses. So the list is endless, and these are our new buzzwords that we all keep talking about. But little do we realize that our little children who are sitting beside us, who are actually watching us when we are discussing, or who are actually an audience to whatever we may be talking amongst ourselves, are also getting affected. And we need to be sensitive to the fact that these little children who may not speak much about the pandemic are equally affected as all of us are. And when we heard about the pandemic, we first thought, well, is this a bug from China? Is it a bio warfare? Or it will not affect me. I am too strong. I am a superpower. Well, am I doing wrong by taking a decision not calling for a lockdown? Will it really affect me? Should I do my COVID test every day? And I'm going to get better than the virus. So different thoughts, denial, anger, depression, fear, guilt, and whatnot. So these are the thoughts that come into your mind when you think of the coronavirus. So what is this virus all about? It is a virus which has got crowns on top of it. I wish it behaved more like a king rather than causing so much problem to all of us. The virus is an old virus. So coronavirus has been in existence for very, very long, but it has mutated now. And therefore, this is called the new coronavirus. The co stands for corona, V for the virus, and D for the disease. And it is the same virus as it's caused a SARS-like illness, a severe acute respiratory distress syndrome, a few years ago. And this virus can cause a simple common cold, the old coronavirus, to what it has now mutated to, and which can cause severe lung disease. Okay. So what are your symptoms of coronavirus? Typically the symptoms of any flu-like illness, like when you have a common flu, so fever, cough, it can cause a pneumonia, it can cause breathing difficulties, and very less commonly, it can also be fatal. And it is not fatal for everyone. It can be fatal in certain specific age groups where we will talk about it a little later. So symptoms are very similar to the common flu or the common cold. Hence, to confirm whether it is COVID-19 or not, we need to do a test. And unless we do a test, we will not be sure whether it's a common cold and flu versus a COVID-19. Okay, now how does it spread? It can spread through a direct contact with respiratory droplets from an infected person. So when a person coughs or sneezes, he generates an aerosol. When I say an aerosol, meaning his sputum comes out in the form of droplets which get suspended in the air. And these are droplets, and which, if they stay suspended in the air for a long time, it becomes an aerosol. And this can travel up to 6 meters. A droplet can travel up to 6 meters and can infect anybody close by. So if a person is infected with COVID-19 and if he coughs and sneezes, people around him in a 6-meter radius have a risk of catching the infection. So this is a respiratory droplet infection caused by COVID-19. If a person generates an aerosol, this aerosol is now going to settle down. It is going to settle down in areas close by. And if you touch that surface and then you touch your hand to your mouth, eyes, nose area, it's called the MEN area, the mouth, the eyes and the nose, then the virus can again take entry into your airways and therefore cause disease. It can cause disease in your, it can infect you, and it can cause you to have the same disease. So therefore, the two major methods of transmission are through respiratory droplets or by touching surfaces which are contaminated. Mother to child transmission still not documented. I know many of you must have read the papers yesterday which said two babies in Vadia hospital were positive, but still it is too early to comment that a mother who's infected can transmit it to the baby through when she's carrying the baby transplacentally. So that is not yet been documented. So these are the two main sources of it spreading to each other. This virus may survive on surfaces for several hours, but what is important to know that a simple disinfectant can kill it. Okay, so what can kill it? If you use soap and water on your hands, say the virus has come onto your fingers, simple using of soap and water can dissolve the fatty layer of the virus and therefore can kill the virus. Simple disinfectants which contain about 70 to 80% of isopropyl alcohol can disinfect the surface and can kill the virus. So though it can survive for a few hours, like 6 to 8 hours, and onto certain surfaces, it can be alive for a good 48 to 72 hours as well. But simple disinfectants can kill it. So how do I prevent me or my child from getting the infection? There are simple 4 methods. Hand washing, as I mentioned earlier. Soap and water is as effective as any sanitizer of the world. All right. And when you're coughing and sneezing, when you cough and sneeze, you generate an aerosol at high pressure or high speed, and therefore it can travel up to 6 meters. When you're talking, also you can generate an aerosol, but the amount of aerosol that you will generate when you're talking is very little and it will travel to a very short distance. So coughing and sneezing can cause you to spread. So you must turn your self and move on to your elbow if you're coughing and sneezing. Contact distancing. You need to stay away from a person. See, if you see the third circle, you need to stay away from a person who has got cold and cough in this season. All right. And definitely use of masks. So if you are wearing a mask, if you're having cough and sneeze, your viruses can, to some extent, can get restricted to your area around the face and cannot get transmitted outside. So washing hands, hand hygiene, wearing a mask, coughing and sneezing into an elbow, contact distancing, and if you have symptoms, it is best to contact a healthcare provider. You need to teach this to children, but it's not easy to teach children. But you can teach in simple ways like this.